Good morning, evening, afternoon, good night, whatever time of day it is. Steven, I think, is still asleep on the floor because I recorded 2 videos back to back and he got knocked off on the last of the edge of the other one. Now, I've been playing with Hu Tao a lot since the very dawn of time, her banner release. Obviously, a lot of information, a lot of changes that have come and passed through gear, characters. I'm going to be touching all that stuff, so you can go from noob to pro with Hu Tao. And as always, guys, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, make sure you hit the sub button. Follow as well with the notification bell and join the family. Now, when it comes to Hu Tao, there's going to be a couple important things to know. We're going to be going over weapon selection, artifact choice, because there's more than one now, as well as teammates and team compositions, as well as a little bit of techniques that you can use in game to animation cancel, get some more damage out of your Hu Tao in that way. So first, let's talk about some of the best weapons for your girl, the Hu Tao. And we're going to be going over number one. Obviously, the Staff of Homa is a fantastic weapon. If you get your hands on this weapon, it is a broken spear. Insanely good, and is insanely good for her even specifically more because she works very well with this thing. She's reducing her HP. She gets a pyro damage bonus from an ascension when you are below 50% health. And you're also going to be triggering the weapon passive on the Staff of Homa for being below 50% health as well. So double whammy there. Also going to give you attack for HP, whereas her passive and her active is doing the same thing, attack for HP. So you're kind of just double dipping on all the good candies that you're putting in your mouth for Hu Tao for Halloween time. All right, now on top of that, there is other good weapons here for Staff of Homa. If you can't get your hands on Staff of Homa, another good weapon to look at here for 4-star options is going to be the death match if you're a battle pass spender, because, well, it gives a lot of crit rate. Yes, the base attack on the deathmatch isn't very high, but it's okay because you're building for HP for Hu Tao anyway. You don't really care about attack percent as a stat. Now, if you don't have access to the deathmatch, there are 2 other good weapons here. Now, another one here is going to be the Lithic Spear. If you have the Lithic Spear and you have a lot of characters from Leeway in your party, this can get you a pretty nice amount of crit chance as well, because if you can get multiple refinements on this thing, you have multiple people from Leeway in there, it's gonna be a lot of crit chance for you. You're looking at like 20 plus crit chance if you have a decent amount of refinement ranks and a decent amount of Leeway members on your party. Last and definitely not least is also going to be the Dragon's Bane, because this is going to give you boosted damage if your enemies are afflicted by Pyro or Hydro, which in a proper built Hu Tao team is going to be, well, 100% of the time. And also it's going to give you Elemental Mastery, which is going to be a pretty significant boost. As you can see, the Dragon's Bane here at level 70 isn't even maxed out, 182 Elemental Mastery. And if you go ahead and look at my stats here, well, how much damage bonus does 156 give? It's going to boost our Vaporize and Melt damage by 27%, which is pretty significant. You're going to get more than this 156 from the Dragon's Bane. Now, when it comes to artifacts for Hu Tao, you're gonna have 2 different sets. Now, the old tried and tested and true set that a lot of players use and still love to use on her is gonna be the Crimson Witch of Flames. This is a very nice set. 2-piece here, pyro damage increased by 15%. 4-piece increases overloaded and burning damage by 40%, but also increases melt and vaporize by 15%, which is pretty significant. That's around an extra 100 or so elemental mastery, like we just saw with my 156, increasing it by 20 something percent there. On top of this, if you use an elemental skill, it increases the 2-piece bonus by 50% of its starting value for 10 seconds. And while you're not going to be stacking this thing up, you are going to be activating your elemental skill before you start doing the vast majority of your damage. So that power damage 15 is actually 22.5%, which is pretty nice there. This is going to be helping you do damage with your E activation, which is going to be your normal and charge attack combo, as well as your elemental burst damage on top of that. But for the vast majority of your damage out there from a Hu Tao standpoint is going to be from that normal attack charge attack combination, which is why the other set here, the Shimenawa's Reminiscence set, is also pretty fantastic. Now, if you have the Shimenawa's Reminiscence set, 18% attack, that's okay. It's not life or death. It's going to give you a little bit more attack there. As you can see, our base attack is still a very low 715 because Hu Tao's base attack is terrible. The vast majority of this is literally coming from my 5-star weapon. So you can see 18% attack isn't even giving us 180 attack. It's closer to like 100 attack here, which is wild in the grand scheme of things. But what we are looking at here is the 4-piece passive. Using your elemental skill, if you have 15 or more energy, you lose 15 of that energy, and you will gain 50% normal charged and plunging attack damage for 10 seconds, which is a massive buff to all your damage, because like we are saying, the most of your damage is from what is called the N1C animation cancel, which is a way easier to do. You just hold your attack key and you do it, okay? And then you can animation cancel out of that with a jump or with a dash. So something like this or like this. Easy to do, but it's very easy to initiate, and then you just jump out of it and do it again, which is going to be a normal attack in a charge attack. It does it for you. Just jump afterwards. It's so easy. It comes to artifact stats. It doesn't matter what of the two sets you're wearing. We're going to start with the circlet here. You want some sort of crit circlet. The vast majority of the time, it's going to be easier for you to get a crit rate circlet because having a high crit chance is going to be very important, and we're going to be showing you my stats after we get done talking about the stats and artifacts here. So 31.1% crit rate main stat, crit damage substat, that's what you want. Energy recharge a little bit will help out a ton here, especially if you're running the Shimenawa Reminiscent set, and then HP, cool beans there. Now, for the good old goblet here, Pyro Goblet is going to be fantastic stuff here. Damage bonuses are very, very hard to overcome, right? Stack up damage bonus, so normal attack, charge attack damage bonus, pyro damage bonus, high attack from her E passive, and then high crit chance, high crit damage is where you're going to start seeing these large numbers here. Substats always crit chance, crit damage if you can get it. Elemental Mastery is also very nice as well. So this one looks like it's kind of like a whoa. So like, while this might seem like a kind of not well rolled one, the energy recharge is pretty okay for this SM set. And then you're also going to be using the 84 Elemental Mastery a lot. That's going to be a big boost in your damage here. Now the sands here is going to be a little bit different. So for a lot of you players out there, it's either going to be an HP percent sands or an Elemental Mastery sands. If you have a significant amount of Elemental Mastery from your substats already, get an HP sands. If you have no Elemental Mastery substats and you're not using like a Dragon's Bane, you have no Elemental Mastery coming from anywhere, use an Elemental Mastery sands. And also you're looking for a crit chance, crit damage as the substat. If you're using an EM main stat sands, get some HP percent as your substat. If you're using like I am an HP percent main stat sands, get some of that Elemental Mastery as a substat there. And then for the other two, the flower and the feather, we're looking for crit chance, crit damage, HP, and Elemental Mastery. If you get a little bit of energy recharge in there, that's cool. My stats total look like this: 66.4 crit chance, 229 crit damage, 123 energy recharge, and then a total of 79.6 pyro damage. That's coming from the goblet. And then also I'm at below 50% HP, so my singing rogue is in effect. Now, talent priority, if you're just pulling on Hu Tao or prepping for her in the future, you want to figure out what it is do I need to level. Two most important things is going to be your E and your normal attack. This is where the vast majority of your damage is coming from. Afterwards, go ahead and level up your Elemental Burst up there. It's going to help you heal up a little bit. Also going to help you do a little bit of extra AoE damage. You can cleave enemies down with your normal attack. There's multiple enemies standing in front of you. You're just going to hit all of them. So that can be very helpful as well. She's not like Yomi where she can like only ever hit like one dude at a time. No. Hu Tao is a girl of much love and will love everyone in front of her, if you know what I'm saying. So normal attack and elemental skill first priorities there, and work on the other ones. Now constellations here, if you just have some, these three constellations are the cool ones here. Now the C1 is pretty significant, and this is while you're in your E form, your charge attack does not consume stamina, which is going to allow you to do the animation cancel of the charge attack into sprint a lot easier, because you're not consuming stamina with your charge attack, so you are able to sprint more and cancel more and more and more. C2 here, not that big of a deal, and if you really want to go all the way, C3 is nice because it gives you those free levels on your E, and having extra levels on your E, well, it's going to increase the attack increase of your HP to attack scaling there, so keep that in mind as well. But also keep in mind that the attack bonus granted this way cannot exceed 400% of her base attack. So if you're using like a 4-star weapon, having this thing at like level 13 isn't going to do you a whole lot of good. But if you have it like 12, 13 and you're using the Staff of Homa, that's when you can sort of be like, okay, I can do that, because you're gonna have a much higher base attack there. Speaking of animation cancels real quick, let's just go in and review why the C1 is so powerful. So you can see the charge attack here. If I was to charge attack sprint, charge attack sprint, charge attack sprint, charge attack sprint, I'm all out of stamina right now. I'm gone. I'm huffing, I'm puffing, I'm all out. So let's activate my E. You can just see how many more I can do once I'm at full here. So you can pop the E, boom, bop. It's barely moving. Still going, still going, still going, still going, still going, still going. And it lasts the entirety of the E. You can animation cancel with that sprint. for every single one of your attacks. So that Constellation 1 is very, very good for that reason. Now, when it comes to teammates for Hu Tao, obviously the best one for her is going to be Xingqiu. They work so well together, allows you to go ahead and reverse vaporize all of your hits once you get the combo down, because, well, there's no internal cooldown on charge attack. So if you have Xingqiu, he applies wet, you're going to be able to vaporize that normal attack and the charge attack at the same time, cancel out of it, go in again, apply wet, and then go in there and vaporize those hits multiple times over and over and over. And it's a fantastic thing to do there. Now, if you don't have Xingqiu, you can try to apply wet in other characters with other ways. You can try to go ahead and do something similar with a combination of maybe multiple hydro characters, but I could not tell you more how brutal the two of them make a core for this team. Now, if you have the ability to do a Pyro with Hu Tao as well as a Hydro Xingqiu core, and then throw in like someone like I like to run, the double Geo squad, whether it's Albedo and Zhongli or it's Ningguang and Noel, you could go ahead and try that out as well, because you're going to have two other characters to kind of do damage for Hu Tao and for your team when her elemental skill is not available. Once her stance wears off, she's not doing a whole lot of damage, and that's when your Albedo, your Zhongli, your Ningguang, your Noel can come out and heal people back up, do all that cool stuff. Now, there's a non-bow character that I think a lot of players will be like, but what about double Pyro? Don't use Bennett, okay? Bennett is a big non-bow because Bennett is going to heal you up, especially a big non-bow if you're using Staff of Homa, because if you're using Staff of Homa with Hu Tao and you're using Bennett, you're losing your damage pyro passive for being below 50% HP. You're losing your HP low passive on Staff of Homa just to get the attack passive on Bennett. Don't do it. It's not worth it, my friends out there. Other powerful characters to add to a Hu Tao based team here is going to be characters who can do some nice support burst damage. So characters like Xingling, who is amazing in this game, that could be a very excellent party member for her. Activates the ×2 pyro resonance there. You have the Xingqiu in the party already to take care of, you know, needing to vaporize Xingling ultimate when Hu Tao is not ready to rock and roll. You can also even add in somebody like your boy Chongyun to pair with the Xingling as the support for Xingling, and Xingqiu can be the support for Hu Tao as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with the Hu Tao Xingqiu core. Also, like I said, you can look at someone like Mona plus Barbara at the same time to help you out there as well. And regardless of what sort of Hu Tao team you're running, if you are using Xingqiu and you have a powerful shielder, someone like Zhongli, or in the future maybe someone like Toma can help, or even Diona is also a very powerful support. You can help your Hu Tao live and also not die with the combination of the support from the heals of Xingqiu and the big shielder, because, well, when you get hit, take some damage, or this sword's expire here, you're going to be able to sort of balance your HP as you lose health from activating E, heal back up. You saw a 7k, activate E, swords expired, go back up to 8.6k. So it's going to help you balance that 50% without going to 0% HP total from her E activation with Xingqiu. And I honestly love that combination. It feels like cheating. Strong shielder plus Xingqiu plus Hu Tao, just forever floating in that sub 50% HP threshold and still never die. Even Steven approves